If you go to prison, don't go into debt. And if you do, make sure you pay what you owe. It is extremely imperative. And if you would allow me a moment of your time, I would like to tell you a very real story about prison and what I witnessed while serving 16 years, 11 months in confinement behind the wall. I've seen plenty of crazy things, but this story in particular happened in about 2004, close to 2005 on Sussex 2 State Prison, a level 4, which is closed down now, thank God. And it was Store Day. Store Day is a place of excitement for some and a place of worry for others. It's exciting in prison because there are not many comforts, and this was the type of prison where there was no comfort at all. It was nothing but concrete and steel, barbed wire fences everywhere. And everywhere you went, from using the phone in the block to taking a shower to eating in a chow hall, there was a guard in a position within that space or tower, etc., pointing a weapon at you, getting ready to let it go at will, because this was the type of prison where it popped off at consistently. I'm so glad I made it off there. And if anybody's watching my content and you've been there, I'm glad you made it off too. That being said, Storebox Day could be a good day for some, a place where people can make meals, drink coffee, just be excited and take their mind away from the harsh reality of prison, at least for a few seconds, which while you're on the inside of a place like that is priceless. But for others, again, a place of worry because they owe debt and they know they're not going to be able to pay it. This particular situation occurred between two individuals, the Storebox man named Chief and an individual that owed the Storebox man named D. The significance in this story is I want you to understand that things can go left in a blink of an eye and over what could seem like nothing. And this was a typical store day. We were at the table, gambling, playing some poker, enjoying our time. I wasn't cool with D like that, but he was somebody I respected because he paid his debt when it came to anything that he might have lost at the table or if he owed anybody in the block. He had a good name on the inside. Chief was a well-respected storebox man who had been incarcerated for over 20 years, and this was his hustle. There was other store boxes in the block, but he was the man, and he probably supplied the other store boxes in there. I don't know, because his thing was set up like inventory in there. Nonetheless, this particular day, we were playing poker, and two cell breaks prior, D had actually got up from the table momentarily to go and pay Chief what he had owed him. He walked a bag that looked about $30, $40, $50 worth of commissary, walked it over, came back, started playing, cards again with us. And suddenly out of nowhere, Chief, who doesn't come near gambling at all, that's not his thing, doesn't even come watch the games like other guys sometimes do and just watch people play. No, it's not his thing. He reads, hustles, stays out the way. He approaches us at the table. And he says to D, he said, "Hey, man, I appreciate you giving my stuff, but you still owe me a bag of chips." D said, "Okay, bet, I got you. Which one?" Chief said, "Just a sour cream and onions, 33-cent back, Moon Lodge. That's it. Just the Moon Lodge joint." He said, "All right, bet, I got you." That's what D said. He said, "Wait till cell break. I'll go in there and get you." Chief said, "Bet, no problem. But I need my stuff because I'm trying to close out your tab." We were playing cards, and we were in the middle of a really good hand, and they called cell break, and D didn't want to get up. And he actually missed cell break to go, get that bag of chips that he owed Chief. And Chief was one of them old timers who's all about respect, and your word needs to be your word. That's why he was successful in that environment, if there could be a such thing as that in prison. And he approached the table again and asked D, said, "Hey, man, did you grab that bag of chips you owed me?" And D said, "Man, my fault. I was in the middle of a hand. I got you next cell break." Chief looked at him calmly, respectfully, and said, "Hey, I need my stuff, man. I gave you what you wanted when you wanted it. Now I need my stuff back now, please, because I've got other business that I got to tend to." D didn't like that, not even the tone, even though Chief was really respectful. And you could also see he was trying to be patient but meant business. And D didn't like the fact that there was an audience, because we were playing cards around the table that watched what was going on. And essentially this old man had questioned him now twice over a 33-cent bag of chips, which D illustrated. Said, "Man, you're pressing me over a 33-cent bag of chips, and I just gave you $40-some. I got you." Chief said, "All right, bet. I'll wait till next cell break and get it from you then." Playing cards again. They call cell break. D is in the middle of a pot. There's money in hand. He does not get up from the table. He misses cell break again. Chief comes back to the table and says, "Hey, man, did you grab my bag of chips? I need that so I can close you out. I got other stuff that I got to do." Let me get that, youngin. Now D's agitated because he loses the hand. He's down at the table. He owes money. And then OG is telling him, you still owe me a 33-cent bag of chips. But D's probably already thinking how he's going to pay this $30, $40 off he just lost at this table. There's a lot going on, and there's an audience. There's tension. There's people looking at him, seeing how he's going to respond. There's so many different variables at hand. And D was a younger guy with size on him that was used to kind of throwing his weight around in that environment and backing people down. And he basically told the old timers, Chief, yo, I'm going to get you when I got you. But right now, there's serious money at hand. It's 33 cents. I got you. Chill, man. That's almost essentially how he said it, verbatim, with the energy, tone, all that. Chief looked at him, said, all right, I got you. Walked off and started walking laps like he always did around the block. He would always walk laps during Pod Rec against the wall like other guys did. And let me tell you something. I was paying attention, as everybody in the block that heard or saw or witnessed the exchange of words was probably paying attention, because this is an old timer. He done asked you 2-3 times, your own money, you ain't got up yet. We don't know what's going on. But let me tell you something. It happens quick, because while a hand was being dealt and I'm looking at my hands, next thing I know, as I'm looking at my cards, I hear D holler out loud, scream in a way that I hadn't heard up until that point. I looked over, and almost immediately as I looked over, the guard that was in the booth let off a shot. Boom! Everybody hit the ground except for Chief, who didn't entirely lay down, but he stood over D. And he kept going at him with a weapon that he had fashioned inside of his cell. You see, prison is a very serious place. And what I'll tell you about that moment, without going further into depth, he was changed forever. Like, he survived, but he was changed forever. He was scarred forever. And the things that he's probably still experiencing potentially when it comes to the trauma mentally may never leave him. You know, I hope he finds peace. But even in that moment, Chief also lost, because he wasn't able to collect the rest of the debt that was owed him in the block. And as a matter of fact, when they took us off of lockdown, just a few hours later after they got them both up out of there, guys was laughing and joking because they knew they would never have to pay him again, because he was going to a place called Red Onion in the mountains, behind the wall, behind the door, where they wouldn't see him for years because he tried to take somebody out. Moral of the story, man, don't go to prison. We don't glorify prison over here. We educate. We tell the stories that are true. Yo, this is a lesson. And it's about the importance of your word in a place called prison, and why it's important to pay your debt. It wasn't over the 33-cent bag of chips, y'all. It was about respect to Chief. I guarantee it. I never had a conversation with him. You never crossed paths with him after that. But from doing time on the inside and just understanding the environment and what prison is, respect is mandatory in there in order for certain people to survive. Most of us, as a matter of fact, because we don't never want to be looked at as prey or weaker on the food chain, man. Prison isn't a place to be, man. So y'all know what it is. Stay tuned to the content, but more importantly, stay free.